It is best to be careful about both your enemies and your friends, since friends can become enemies. This story is about a friendship between women that ended in tragedy. Today's story is about Renee Marsden from Sydney, Australia. She grew up with her 3 brothers in the loving home of Teresa and Mark Marsden. This family had a warm atmosphere, but Renee had a very close relationship with her mother. Mother Teresa described her daughter as an incredibly kind, joyful, and tender-hearted young woman. When Renee turned 18, she worked as both a hairdresser and an administrator at a salon. Here, she met Angus, a co-worker. At first, they barely noticed each other, but eventually, Angus realized he was in love and got the courage to tell Renee. He was thrilled to find that she felt the same way, and soon they couldn't be apart, making plans for their future together. But their relationship was suddenly cut short when Angus sent Renee a message admitting that he had been using her, wasn't ready for a serious relationship, and wanted other women. It broke her heart. Renee's world was turned upside down by this revelation, which made her once orderly life goals and beloved moments seem completely unimportant. She shut herself off from the world, skipping food and the outdoors in favor of the solitude of her blanket. She was close with her high school friend, Camilla Zidane. Even though their lives were going in different ways, Camilla rushed to Renee's side as soon as she heard she had broken up with her boyfriend, eager to cheer her up and help her get through her grief. Zidane told her to start dating new guys, and she had someone in mind that she thought would be a great rebound for Renee: Braden Spiteri, Camilla's ex-boyfriend. Even though things hadn't worked out with them because they weren't compatible, Camilla was sure that Braden and Renee were a perfect match and told her friend to go after him, believing that he'd be a great friend for Renee, who was shy around new people at first. Marsden wasn't interested in dating men, but as the pain of her recent breakup started to fade, she decided to take a chance on the mysterious Braden. From their first phone conversation, they started a relationship based on texting. Renee felt a deep connection with him, even though they hadn't met in person. She already had that deep, unspoken connection that you get from a soulmate. They talked non-stop, day and night, and sent each other endless texts on social networks. At 23, Spiteri had graduated from a prestigious Royal Academy and came from a wealthy family with a successful construction business. Going over Braden with her mother Teresa to Renee, he looked perfect. They had a lot of the same interests, and Braden wanted the same things in life as Renee did. The only problem was that Braden was always unavailable for dates. He never said no to meeting up, but there was always a reason they couldn't spend time together. In the early days of 2012, just a few weeks into their new relationship, Renee went on a 2-week family cruise where she couldn't be reached because she didn't have cell service. When she got back home, she got some scary news from Braden. He and a close friend had been involved in a fatal motorcycle accident. His friend died, and Spy was in charge. The investigation found that his lack of attention while driving led to killing charges against him. Because the court proceedings and hearings were still going on, he didn't tell her because he was afraid it would make her dislike him. But after being sentenced to 2 years in prison, he couldn't keep Renee in the dark any longer. Renee was devastated by the terrible news, but she chose to stay in the relationship. Once Braden was in Goober Correctional Center, he got access to a phone, which allowed them to reconnect and improve their communication through text messages, because making phone calls was dangerous for him. Braden turned down the chance for visitations that would have shortened his sentence because he wanted to be free by Renee's 21st birthday so that they could celebrate together. Renee understood and was ready to make sacrifices, at least temporarily, because she was sure that 2 years would go by quickly, and then they would get married, and nothing would keep them apart. For their future together, she was ready to put some limits on herself because she knew that getting through this tough time was important. Even though Spiteri was in jail, they still spent a lot of time talking online about their wedding, honeymoon, and life in general. After that, Renee even checked with the consulate to see if Braden could travel internationally for their honeymoon, even though he had broken her heart before. Braden sent her flowers and gifts to try to win her over, and when he realized how hard it was for her because they weren't physically close, he suggested she satisfy her sensual needs with her best friend Camilla instead of other people. He said he wouldn't mind if Marsden agreed, but Renee politely declined, preferring to wait for his return home. Camilla, on the other hand, seemed very interested in the idea of being close with Renee, often asking about the details of her conversations with Braden and probing how Marsden dealt with her sensual needs. Camilla called Renee several times a day, and if she didn't answer, she sent her a lot of texts. Strangely, Camilla started to be jealous of Renee's other companions and would complain if Renee spent the whole day with her mother, Teresa. One evening, Camilla called Renee 54 times, which caused Marsden to criticize her clingy behavior the next day, calling it excessive instead of apologizing for her actions. Camilla showed up at Renee's door, started a fight, and used rude language, which was strange from someone who was thought to be a close friend. After a heated argument, Camilla made the sudden move to kiss Renee, but Renee turned her down, saying she was only interested in men. Even so, Zidane was able to get her to agree to a physical encounter. After the event, Renee told her mother Teresa about their experiment, but she made it clear to Camilla that she didn't want to be in a relationship with someone of the same gender. They agreed to forget about the incident and move on. Zidane's strange behavior didn't stop, and Renee even showed her mother emails from Camilla, in which Camilla confessed her deep love and desire for a union, telling Renee that she couldn't deny her feelings and that no one else could love her more deeply. Camilla even threatened to shadow Renee if she did. Renee persistently, if turned down, vowing to be there for Renee until she agreed to be her friend. Teresa, alarmed by these admissions, told her daughter to cut off the relationship and not give Renee any reason to keep it going. She reassured her that Camilla would eventually get married, find a man, and give up her illusions. However, Renee hesitated to end their friendship abruptly, so Teresa told her to proceed with the utmost care. Teresa's maternal instincts were confirmed when Renee had to end the long-term friendship for her own health, which made Camilla react with anger, bitterness, and anxiety while continuing her relentless pursuit of Marsden. At first, Renee chose to ignore Camilla's attempts to communicate, and her relationship with Braden started to suffer, especially when Braden kept bringing up Camilla's suggestion that they fix their friendship, even though Renee was trying to end their relationship because of Braden's constant urging. Unexpected tragedies in Braden's life made her change her mind, and Teresa pulled her back because of her caring nature. Firstly, Braden told everyone that his mother had been diagnosed with a brain tumor, which made him feel bad because he couldn't physically help her. Secondly, Braden was attacked in jail and badly hurt. Renee thought Braden's influence was getting worse and was about to break up with him, but unplanned events and her parents' advice to either leave Braden or look at other suitors stopped her from making a final choice. In an effort to get back together with her, her parents thought that cutting off her mental ties with Braden would make her want to end their relationship for good. Braden contacted Renee's parents to reassure them of his good intentions and their compatibility with her. He also kept sending romantic messages to Renee, pleading with her to make peace with Camilla and forgive her. Eventually, Renee was able to get back together with Camilla, who had been the only person who supported her relationship with Braden. 3 months into their new relationship, Renee, who was deeply in love with Camilla and needed her mental support, went to a tattoo shop and got Spiteri inked on the right side of her chest while she was on social media. Teresa, Renee's mother, found a picture that Renee's ex-boyfriend Angus had posted. She liked the picture without any ulterior motives. When Braden saw Teresa's online behavior, he thought it was an attempt to start up a romance between Angus and Renee again. He sent Teresa a very angry and insulting message, calling her a traitor and criticizing her parenting for not supporting her daughter's feelings for Spiteri. This message was rife with anger and made a number of rude comments. This episode made Renee's partner's parents think even less of him. They thought he was rude and cocky, even though Renee tried to make things better. After standing her ground for a while, Teresa's mother finally agreed to talk to Braden about a deal that would give Renee some freedom while he was in jail. If their relationship lasted during that time, Teresa would change her mind about her feelings toward him, which surprised everyone. The young man agreed, and he told Renee that he loved her forever and planned to marry her when he got out. In the meantime, he gave her complete freedom, seizing the chance. Soon, Renee started dating a co-worker named Ian. The Marsans were happy with Ian because he was so different from Braden. He was polite and calm, and they were looking forward to a fresh start. But Spiteri, who was closely watching Renee's life, noticed the change and started threatening Ian online to stop him from pursuing Renee, even though she had given him permission to do so. Renee begged Braden to stop making Ian feel scared, but over time, she and Braden were able to start talking to each other again, this time as friends. Renee stayed cool and kept talking to Ian. She thought that things with Spiros were over, amicably. In October 2012, while on a business trip, Renee took a selfie in her hotel room next to a mirror and posted it on a social media site. Braden wasn't ready for what happened when he saw a pair of men's shoes in the background of the picture. He became very angry and accused her of cheating on him. Renee had to act as a babysitter again by making it clear that Ian owned the shoes, but SP was still upset, and he even got Ian's contact information to bother him, even though Braden tried to stop him. Renee and Ian's relationship grew and turned into an engagement over the holidays, but Braden's constant participation became a problem. Point made Ian demand a decision between himself and Braden, since Braden was about to be freed in the fall of 2013. Renee thought about her choices and finally decided to go with Braden because she thought he was her soulmate, and the idea of trying to fix their relationship was beautiful. Renee was having a hard time with her feelings, and Braden told her that his father wanted him to run the family's successful building business when he got back. He didn't say when Renee suggested that he think about his dad's offer. Braden scolded her for being nosy and interested, saying she was only interested in the relationship for financial gain and didn't care about how it made him feel. He also constantly scolded her for her relationship with Ian, calling it cheating and using her guilt to get closer to him. Renee couldn't do anything, but Braden sometimes changed his behavior to be kind and caring, which trapped her in a cycle of emotional abuse. In the summer of 2013, while Camilla went on a family trip to the USA. The perfect time for Renee to finally end her friendship with Zidane was when Camilla came to the USA. Being far away made the breakup easier, especially since Zidane had gone back to her old controlling and possessive ways, which made Renee nervous around her. Renee sent her a message asking her to stop talking to her and treat them like strangers if they ever meet again because of her own problems. Braden told Renee that he would not be able to talk to her for a while because of a hearing for possible early release. This would leave her alone, just like she had moved away from Camilla. During this time of being alone, Renee kept sending Braden heartfelt texts, even though he wasn't responding. She was holding on to any sign of contact. She had to wait a long time for a response, and when she did, she was shocked by how rude and uncaring it was. That same day, Teresa got a message from Spiteri saying that Renee was a danger to herself. This caused a worried conversation between Teresa and Renee, who told Teresa that her relationship with Braden was over, but that the self-harm claims were not true. Teresa was eager to learn more. Renee told her mother that she had finally understood Braden's true nature and reassured her of her safety. She then got ready for a night out with friends, going out to find comfort and fun with their company, right on August 5, 2013 at 5:49 p.m. Renee sent a long, sincere message to her mother to show her love and ask for forgiveness. Teresa immediately tried to call her daughter, but didn't get an answer. To figure out what was going on, she called Camilla and got the same note, even though they hadn't talked in a while. Camilla suggested that they look for Renee in a likely place, which led them to a house where Zidane said Braden's sister lived, but it didn't help. Teresa then told the police that her daughter wasn't with her, and they eventually found Renee's car in the remote Watson's Bay, far from the city center. Inside the car, they found an unused cell phone from 2 months ago, a Valentine's card from Braden, and a photo collage of him scratched into the dust on the window. Read, "I love you, Braden." The Marsden clan and some other relatives went to Watson's Bay to look for Renee, who was wearing black ballet shoes. At that time, police were sealing off the area for an investigation, so the relatives were told to wait for the results at home. Teresa, restless, tried to call Braden, but he didn't answer or respond to her angry messages. After becoming aware of his part in her daughter's pride, Renee's father went to the detention facility that was supposed to hold Spare, but found that no one there had that name. Mark told the cops that he had doubts when they first looked into Watson's Bay. Renee wasn't found, but they did find CCTV footage that showed her last moments. People saw her walking alone to the edge of a cliff, jumping over a safety fence, stopping to look down, and then sending 3 last texts on her phone before throwing it into the water and following it. Her body was never found, and her sudden disappearance left her family and friends devastated. Renee's family was dealing with the fact that she might be dead forever. They turned their attention to finding out who received her last texts. An investigation into the text's contents revealed that Renee had sent Braden 91 texts before she left for Watson's Bay, but had not heard back from him until just before she jumped. There was an odd similarity in the grammar patterns of texts from both Camilla and Braden, as well as mood changes that mirrored each other. If Camilla was rude to Renee, Braden would be angry, and vice versa. Even though the texts came from 2 different phone numbers, they were all sent by the same person, proving that Camilla made up Braden's Spiteri. One of the last messages on Renee's phone was from Braden ending their 18-month relationship and saying he needed space. This caused Renee to have a severe emotional crisis, which was seen by her co-workers as she shook and cried uncontrollably. Once she calmed down, she made a short 90-second call to the prison, supposedly to Braden, according to the call records. Later, Zidane's house was searched under warrant, and multiple cell phones, a torn letter from Renee to Braden, and an intact letter from Camilla thanking Renee for introducing her to her soulmate and promising to pay her back. Also, the man who was thought to be Braden in photos was actually called Cameron, and he wasn't involved in the fake relationship. His identity was used without his knowledge. For the last 18 months of her life, Renee thought she was in love. On the day she died, she found out that Braden wasn't real. Camilla admitted that she lied to her best friend by pretending to be Braden. But because catfishing wasn't illegal in New South Wales at the time, the police couldn't charge her. She hadn't tried to get money from Marsden to be accused of fraud. She did it for fun. In 2020, Renee's parents got the police to look into their daughter's death and how Camilla directly contributed to it. Zidane was given immunity in exchange for details of her lies. Camilla got away with her crimes by saying that she and Renee were in love and that the Marsden family would never have allowed them to be together. They made up the character of Braden to hide their relationship, they said. Camilla also said she didn't know Renee was going to kill herself, but the victim's family thought the breakup between Braden and Renee was revenge for Marsden ending their friendship for good. Camilla was crazy about Renee but couldn't have her as a woman, so she lied to her about these online relationships and made a male version of herself. Sadly, this cruel joke ended in the death of a young woman. Camilla is now married, has a child, and is enjoying life after deciding to marry a man because she realized that same-sex relationships weren't her destiny. Thanks for watching. If you found the story intriguing, please give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more real-life crime stories. I'd love to hear your thoughts. What do you think about the case? Share your comments below. For more gripping tales, check out our other videos. Until next time, stay curious and stay safe.